start here, and thank you for all for joining us on beeducatedinyourhealth.com. Again, hey, Dr. Bev is going to come on in just a second, so still a minute to text somebody real quickly as I do a couple of little intros here and get some folks on. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be great. And so, yeah, everybody just let you know that if you've missed a number of these that are really focused on our products and so forth, our cutting edge, one of a kind products, just go onto beeducatedinyourhealth.com/videos. And you can go check out all the other past episodes, if you will, as we're doing this always on the first couple Thursdays of the month. And so, of course, today we are very happy to have Dr. Bev out of the big metropolis of Houma, Louisiana. Is that right?
No.
Aren't you guys from Louisiana?
No, actually, we're from Cincinnati, Ohio. And,
oh, really?
But I was practicing in Gulfport, Mississippi for 20 years, but we just moved back to Ohio in December.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Those are those other people from Houma.
Yeah. Most of her group is from Houma, guys. Sorry about
That's
that.
Right.
But,
okay.
And that's where, I don't know if it was in Houma, but that's where I met Dr. Bev. Won't get too much into that other than, I was actually sharing and doing some training, and she kind of came to the rescue for me with a couple of questions there. So, which was a very good. So that was my introduction to her. But let me go ahead and give a formal introduction. Then Dr. Bev will hand it over to you. Thank you again for being on. Dr. Bev is board certified in internal medicine, endocrinology, and anti-aging and regenerative medicine. She'll tell you a little more about that and what that means here in just a little bit. But she did medical research prior to becoming a doctor. She has 24 research papers. Wow, that's a lot. On PubMed, which is the National Institute of Health, which you'll be learning more about. And she's going to explain a little bit more about PubMed and Google Scholar, and why they're superior to Google for accurate information. And best of all, she's going to tell us, and this was been such a big deal, because ever since she shared it, I've been sharing it and using it and letting people know. But she's going to tell us what the p-value is and why that's so important. And of course, this is why she is so passionate about helping people, mostly about how we can help the body heal itself as God intended. And so she is going to share with us, and then we'll have a few questions. Now, before she begins, just let you guys know, as you have your questions, now you're going to have to listen carefully, because most of you, if not, well, of course, all of you actually are here on the live stream.
So in 2013, I met my first LifeVantage related person, and it was one of my patients, and he asked me to watch a DVD, and I was pretty impressed with it. It was the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. And I thought, if this is true, this is good. This is really good. But is it scientifically proven? And so I went to PubMed, because PubMed is the most unbiased site for scientific research. It's National Institute of Health, and it has the studies that are published on PubMed have to be peer reviewed. And that means they take your name off of your paper that you want them to publish, and they don't tell you who they're sending it to research it and validate it. And they look, and the validator looks to see if this looks like a really good research paper. Did they do everything right? Was it biased? Did they need to double check it from a different angle? And if the three expert peers, that means they're equivalent to the author in expertise, agree that it was well done, then and only then they will publish it. And that's why I was really impressed when I saw our first study on Protandim, NRF2. It had Well, it had about 16 studies then, but now it's got 28. Yeah. And another, so you don't want to just Google anything if you really want something you can believe. But Google Scholar is good. And that site is scholar.google.com. And it's all scientific articles. There's no bloggers. So bloggers just kind of ruin everything. So I just don't ever read a blogger. And so after, then what's the next one? Oh, so I looked up the Protandim NRF2 on PubMed and saw the studies. And the first study was, I've got it right here. It was in 2006. And it's actually number 22. You'll get, I think 28 studies if you put Protandim in PubMed. And the 22nd, number 22 was the first study. And so I was reading that abstract and looking for the p-value. And lo and behold, it's like the bottom of the abstract. It says p equals 0.0001.
Stop it.
So it was 0.0001. Now, how do you interpret a p-value? Here on this slide, we see a p of 0.5 means there's a 50-50 probability that those results just happen by chance. You flip a coin, you'd get something completely different. So that doesn't prove anything. A p equals 0.05, that's 5/100. That means if you repeat that study 100 times, you'll get the same result 95 times. And maybe 5 out of 100 could get some other result. But that's still considered a good enough statistics for a drug company to process a drug based on that evidence. But a p-value of 0.0001 means it's a 1 in 10,000 probability that the conclusions of that study happen by chance. And in our case, that it happened by chance and not because those subjects took one Protandim a day for 30 days. It also means, so that means that's strong proof. That the smaller the number, the stronger the proof. So 0.0001 is unrefutable. I don't know what the word would be. It's proven. You don't have to repeat that study because you're going to get the same result 9,999 times if you repeat it 10,000 times. So when I saw that, I thought, well, this is good stuff. I'm going to take it. My husband's going to take it. I'm going to tell all my patients about it. And I did. And I have definitely never regretted it. So with the Protandim study, typically, you can just take that slide off. Typically, T-bars, which is a blood test for oxidative stress, just goes up with age. Classically, it just goes up with age. Nothing ever really dependably could lower it. And we found that taking one Protandim a day brought everybody down to the level of a 20-year-old. And the average was a 40% decrease. So if you were 20 years old, you might have had a 5% decrease. If you were 78 years old, you might have had a 65% decrease. And the average decrease in oxidative stress was 64%. was 40%. But the point is they all came down. Even the 80-year-old whose level was supposed to be, where's my finger? Up here, came down to the level of a 20-year-old. And that was so phenomenal. That just really blew me away. And so I am definitely taking it. Everybody's taking it. And all our other products they aren't on PubMed yet, but they probably will be, and they'll pass the test, believe me. So you have some questions?
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Bev. Appreciate it. I think like you said, I think what was really key, because in some of the studies they talked about, those studies were done on mice, and so some people say, well, no, it's mice and not human beings and so forth. So I don't know if you can address that anymore regarding that. It's kind of really get into the weeds of the science and so forth. But one of the things you did share with me at that time was the fact of that p-value study, which everybody, again, just to let you know, is that, in other words, the chances of you not getting your oxidative stress level, which again, oxidative stress is at the very center of why we age, disease, age, and die. And so many hundreds of diseases are attached, or that's at the very core center. So we're dealing with, when you lower your oxidative stress, you're actually dealing with the source and not the symptom of why we disease, age, and die. So that's extremely significant when you understand that we have the only product on the planet that's been scientifically validated. How validated? Like she said, 28 peer-reviewed studies. And of course, in that the one particular study, she said with a p-value of basically 0.0001, which means that's 1 in 10,000. So the likelihood of your oxidative stress level not going down, significantly, as we said, 40% up to 70 and so on percent, is 1 in 10,000. So I tell people, if that's you, then you should go buy a lottery ticket that day. So that's huge, guys, because in other words, so many times that people are saying today, well, I don't know, if it's working for me and so forth. The bottom line is that just trust the science and know that it is, because there are times when people, they don't always feel it working, just like you don't always feel high cholesterol, or you don't always feel cancer until it's too late. So some people don't have that feel. I have a number of testimonies of people who didn't feel it, but when they got their blood test back, their doctors were asking them, wow, what are you doing? And which their reply was, doc, I'm not doing anything different except taking this little yellow pill. And that's I'm talking about people who had their triglycerides lowered by over 40 points and things like that nature. So extremely significant. And this guy was actually fairly healthy with the exception of that. So those types of things is that you may not feel that, but it's at work. So Dr. Bev, would you like to address any more within that regard?
Well, the thing about the rats and the animals that are used in testing, they are mammals. And we do know that Protandim works in all mammals. So we've got the dog product that keeps these little limping, poor little pitiful animals. Now they're jumping around, and works for horses and cattle. We have a cattle rancher and of course who are the people with all the Amish? Yeah, they keep their horses working because they don't have cars, with the Protandim. So you can't assume anything, but the evidence that we do have is that if you're a mammal, it's going to work.
There you go. Well, yeah, and I don't know, maybe you do know, but isn't a product that's FDA approved whether it's their p-value or something, a whole, I mean, they don't have, I mean, it's really not that high of a bar for them to get to FDA approved as far as their, I guess I want to say their success rate. Isn't that correct?
Who are you referring to getting FDA approved?
No, I'm just saying any product, you know, through
Oh, any
FDA
product.
approval, you know, like a drug or something, pretty much, you know, they don't have that. I mean, it definitely doesn't have to be 0.0001 for the FDA to
definitely.
approve it.
Yeah, it has to be 0.05.
There you go.
0.05.
So,
And
so
that's not hard.
so here's why this is important, because it is an all natural product. People will say, oh, but is it FDA approved? And so you can come back and say, no, it's better than that.
Way.
So FDA approved products only are a 0.05. We are a 0.0001. So there you go. Again, so what does that mean? This is like, okay, so, you know, I guess what you're saying is that, you know, like you said, maybe 5 out of 100 people it will not work with, or will have some kind of effect. Here is that 1 out of every 10,000. Big, like as she's saying, big difference. So, you know, and so I want to address that to say, because people say, well, you know, because people are listening to their doctors, and, you know, not that they shouldn't listen to their doctors, but one of the questions is, well, is it FDA approved? And of course, being an all natural product, you know, by the way, the quality control though is of our products. And again, we are a publicly traded company here in the United States of America. The product is, you know, produced here in the United States of America, just to let you know. But having said all that, to say that, you know, that the FDA, the FDA does monitor the quality control to say that we're putting into our product what we say we are. So from the FDA standpoint, we have, you know, we have that guidance. However, when someone said, is it FDA approved? That, you know, millions of people are taking this vaccine, it ain't FDA approved. Hello, you know what I mean? And it definitely, that vaccine definitely doesn't have a 0.0001 rating. Okay, so having you said all that, guys, you know, as far as our products go, if you can eat a garden salad, you can take our product. All right,
that's right. There's no side effects really. There may be some detox initially when somebody starts taking it, as the body's trying to get rid of the bad molecules, the trash, whatever you want to call it. But you can take a half a pill or slow down, increase your water. But if that goes away, and there really are no side effects reported. I think that's awesome, because there's not even any drugs that can say that.
Oh yeah, so you know, so we won't get into all, you know, some all that sort of thing, but you know, we wanted to share about and have you on to share about that p-value, how you came across it, why it is so significant. So we greatly appreciate, and you know, they want to hear from a doctor, they want to hear from a preacher. So you know, so it's always good to hear from a doctor, and so everybody. Listen, so you'll be able, this is going to be archived. You're going to be able to see this as well. And so it'll be on beeducatedinyourhealth.com/videos and thing. So yes, so you want to check that out there with all the other ones. We have Dr. Huey on, we have just a lot of great testimonies. We're going through all of our hair products. We are going to have our science officer, chief science officer on, Brian Dixon. We are going to have Dr. John Huey. He's going to be talking about the pre and probiotics that our company produces, which according to him, he thinks is the very best that's out there in the market today. So